Hello guys, welcome to a video, and today we are going to react to 9 paranormal scary, I don't know. I just picked a random one. So let's do this.
This contract, I relinquish part of my freedom to you.
There's a contract in every cigarette. When you light up, you sign up. Don't let tobacco control you. Know the real cost.
This video
One
is not
evening,
sponsored.
about 8 years ago, it was pouring outside and we get a call from an elderly woman. She called in and said that she was hearing footsteps in her house and she thought there was a ghost inside because she regularly heard the sound of someone walking upstairs. But she lived alone. We went there just to check it out and make sure everything was okay. She stayed on the line with the 911 operator because she was really scared. About 3 minutes after she initially called in, she said that there was actually a man standing outside in her backyard, staring at her through her sliding glass door. Petrified, the woman froze in that spot and continued to stare directly at the man. For the next minute or two, she said that he was just standing there, still as could be, staring at her. Eventually, the man took off out of sight. When we arrived, about 12 minutes after the call first came in, we went to the front door. I remained in the foyer with the woman, and the other officer went to the backyard to see if the man was still hiding out or if there were any traces of him. I spoke with her for several minutes until the other officer returned. He said that there was no trace of anyone having been in the backyard. We set off to do a quick sweep before we left to make sure the house was all clear. In her living room, the room that has the sliding glass door, we discovered a trail of mud and footprints inside the house. I asked the woman if she had been outside at all that day or if anyone had been over to visit her. She said no, that she lived alone and that no one had come by to visit her. The woman was very old, probably around 85, and had very poor eyesight and was hard of hearing, as elderly people tend to be. The woman obviously had seen the man's reflection and mistakenly thought he was in front of her, on the other side of the glass, in her backyard. In reality, he had been standing only a few feet behind her in the same room while she had been talking to 911. Nothing was stolen, broken, or out of place, so we don't know what his intentions were. Who knows what would have happened had she not stayed on the line with the operator. I know it sounds like something out of a campfire story, but it was honestly one of the most unnerving and creepy experiences I have ever had while on duty.
The funniest thing, this is not about the story. I haven't watched the full video of, I Broke It, on KY Productions video. The funniest thing is that he's so scared about copyright. Because when he was, and the music was on, he was like, oh, copyright. I was just thinking of that because I was looking at Cal's thing. And actually, if you guys want to know, I don't know why that's shaking. Why is that fudge in my leg? Okay, there's his name. If you guys probably didn't know, here's his Gmail name. You can go ahead and check it out if you guys want to enter the thing. Yeah. Alright, let's get back to the story. We're probably going to get through probably 3.
I was a 911 dispatcher for about 5 years out of school.
Me!
One night, I got a call from a lady at a residence in town. 911, what is your emergency?
Is this the police?
She was freaking out, heavy breathing, scared, shaking voice. I've taken many calls like this, and from the sound of her voice, this was not going to be a routine call. I sat up straight and my heart started to pump faster. Yes, ma'am. What is your emergency?
There's someone in my house.
She trailed off, very breathy and genuine, but not loud and freaking out. Okay, are you located at... Insert house address here.
Yes.
I dispatch the cars to start heading over to the address, and I don't give a reason yet. Okay, do you know who this person is?
Well, no, I don't think it's... I know this sounds so crazy. I think there's a ghost in my house. There's noises, and I know there's a ghost right in the other room. I can hear it right now.
At this time, the sergeant asks me the reason of the call, and why I sent him and 2 other cars without explanation. Normally, you'd send 1 car to something like that. It's suspicious activity, I told him. What activity? He demanded over the radio, which was a fair question. Sir, the caller is claiming there is someone in the house, and she believes it to be a ghost. Silence on the air for about a minute. 10-4, is all he said. By the time they got there, the ghost was gone, and the poor lady was a freaked-out mess, and she kept apologizing for calling us. But it was real, she kept repeating. The officers later told me that her sincerity actually freaked them out a lot, and when they searched the house, guns drawn, even they were scared.
Hope we can get through 3. I'm not really scared, guys. Only that picture scared me.
I was called to a home of an older woman, mid-60s I'd say.
Okay,
She reported that there were ghosts in her attic or basement every night for the past week or so. So I go in and I don't hear anything. I check the basement and the attic as she shows me around. I shine my light in the attic, but I don't see anything. The basement had lights on, but still nothing to be seen. A week goes by and I get called back to her house again, but this time I'm working a night shift. I go in and check the basement. Nothing. I check the attic and there's a man with ragged, torn clothes huddled in a corner. Apparently he was climbing in her window on cold nights. While there were no ghosts, it really did freak me the fuck out to see someone crouched in her attic. We arrested him, but dropped the charges since what he needed was help more than a record. He was homeless, and we helped him find a shelter to go to for future needs. I haven't seen him since. It's my job to help people, protect and serve and all that, and I try to take it to heart. I did my best to help both the resident and the trespasser.
Guys, I think we're gonna go for 4, and probably 5, because these stories are getting shorter.
My uncle was the sheriff of a small town in New Mexico. He was the most hardcore person in our family, super straight-laced, never really bullshitted, and wasn't at all a joker. So when he told this story, which is backed up by my aunts, we all believed it without question. A local reporter named Bob D. would always show up at any major police activity from the police scanner. Big car wrecks, fires, anything worth maybe reporting in the local paper. Everybody on the force knew Bob D. He was always around at least once or twice a week at various police activities. Now, Bob was a bit of a joker himself. He would mess with people by flicking behind their ears. People would react to the flicks, thinking it was a bug, only to turn around and see it was Bob just joking around. Everybody liked Bob. Unfortunately, Bob had bad lung cancer and died pretty suddenly. His wife buried him, which was against his wishes. He wanted to be cremated. For the next couple of weeks after his funeral, people kept talking about seeing Bob at car wrecks, fires, all the same stuff he used to report on. There were 20 to 30 reports like this from civilians and members of the force. My uncle, however, didn't buy it. That is, until the night he and my aunt showed up at our house, gun drawn, pale as paper. We asked him what the hell happened, and he had to sit down, take his breath, compose himself, and start to outline what happened. Just a note, this is a guy that I never saw get rattled by anything. He said, my aunt and him were sitting on the couch in their house, watching TV. My uncle kept scratching at his ear, over and over. Finally, my aunt asked him what the problem was, and he turned around just in time to see their bedroom door open. Bob D was standing there in the doorway, clear as day. My uncle jumped up and started cussing and got my aunt's attention, who turned to see him there too. As soon as they both made eye contact with him, Bob smiled, turned, and walked across the living room and out their front door. He closed the door behind himself and was gone. My uncle got control of himself and ran outside, gun drawn, looking for Bob, but he was gone. And at that point, they ran over to our place. We went over there and didn't see anything, but my aunt and uncle stayed at our place that night. At work the next day, all the guys on the force were giving my uncle lots of "we told you so." People around town said they saw Bob D show up at police scenes for at least another 2 to 3 months. My dad saw him in our dark room in our basement with a friend. He was flicking their ears in the dark. During the 3rd month...
Okay, guys, I'm done because this scared the fudge out of me, and I don't want to get scared tonight, so... Hey, guys, I tried to make this as short as I can, but apparently I can't do that, so... Hey, guys, if you want to go check out, like, yeah, if you want to make it a lot more easier than this type of... Yeah, guys. See you later.